Check, check, check. Right, let me see if I can turn this up just a little bit. All right. Welcome, everyone. If you can't read, top says this is a winner side match. I believe there's 4 players left on the winner side. This is one of those matches. The winner is guaranteed third, which means the winner is guaranteed to play the hot seat match. And you got a really good one here. You got Bobby Thomas, Manny Luovano. This is a 650 and under. I guess Tim was nice enough to name it after me. It's just kind of funny because I'm on the wrong side of the glass for that, but I'll get over it. Anyways, Bobby Thomas and Manny too. The higher Fargo's coming into this one, sitting right at the cap. Manny addressed the 9 ball early so it doesn't have to come back on it. He doesn't want to use the 9 to get back down table, but he's going to scratch on that one. Oh, I guess he's just warming up. I thought they shook hands. I apologize, guys. Tim came over and he's like, they're playing. All right. But anyways, looks like Manny wants a little bit of practice before they get started here. If you are in everything, before there was an auction for this, but before the auction, winner is taking home, if you're in everything, $21.90. Not sure how the auction is spread out. I believe they're paying the top 4 of that. I think it's a 40, 30, 20, 10 situation. Ron Wake says Angel going to win it all. He's definitely playing strong. Had a few comments after he beat me yesterday on stream. I pegged him as favorite, but don't sleep on any of these guys. And then the other 2 players on the winner side. Gosh, what's his name? The other Bustamante. He ran through Angel like 7-1 or something. And then Duncan. 8 ball's not his favorite game, but just pure raw ball pocketing ability. He's a really good shooter, especially on these bar boxes. He makes them look easy. He's got such a pure stroke. Sweet. Now, if you're not in everything, first is 1,000, second is 700, third is 500, fourth is 300, fifth, sixth, 200, and seventh, eighth, 150. So paying out 8 spots. 32 players showed up, filled up the field. Everyone was paid before the tournament started. I'm not sure. Don't think they're getting started yet. It kind of looks like Bobby's on his phone. All right. Well, these guys practice a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and step off for a minute. I'll be back here shortly when they shake hands and get ready to go. See you soon. All right, check, check, check. Sounds good. Looks like we're getting started. I'm gonna try not to. Camera's on my table here, so I'm gonna try to avoid touching the table too much. Wants to wobble around a little bit. Looks like Bobby won the lag. Straight races a 7 on the front and back. These two players, definitely two that you're looking for to make it to the finals. Two of the better players in the tournament, like I mentioned before. And you're going to see a lot of that. I saw, a few players going with a head-on break, but I've seen a lot of success with that second ball break. I know a lot of the pros talk about the head-on break and getting a better spread that way, but it just seems like with these wood racks, we are hand racking today. There are no template racks, but it just seems like with these wood racks, you're getting a pretty good spread from the second ball. Getting a lot of runouts. Some players have struggled a little bit, get some clusters, but you saw Manny practicing a little bit before the match on his break. It's actually very important with you're playing players of these calibers. Immediately looking at the rack, Bobby's got to figure out that 12. He'd like a nice full look on the 15 to go forward, shoot the 12. It doesn't look like he's going to get it. He may have to break it out somehow, some way, unless he's going to try to use the 9 ball to get straight on the 15 to roll forward for the 12. But he could almost. He's in a tough spot. You can tell he's thinking here. He's going through everything I'm talking about now. Is he going to use the 13 to break up the 12? Is he going to use the 13 to get behind the 12? He's just got an awkward enough angle on the 15 and the 9 that it makes this a pretty difficult run out. Yeah, he's going to scratch. That's going to give Manny ball in hand. Manny's got work, though. 7's tough. The 3's tough. Manny, a big 9-foot player, likes one pocket, comes up with those real creative in his safeties because of that experience. See if he can come up with something. You'd hate to leave your opponent with pocket hangers, and he's got 2 of them. It's, in a perfect world, you'd like to address both of them, play safe that way, but I don't see anything immediately that allows you to do that. You have to hit one heck of a shot. So he's looking, how do I maybe make 1 and hide it? But Bobby will likely have a kick at one of these hangers, the 13 or the 9, after the save. Unless Manny's looking to run out from here. If he can shoot the 7, I know this is asking a lot for Manny. He's looking at shooting the 7 on the side, pushing the 3 closer to the side rail, and making it playable. But shooting at the side from an angle to break out the clusters, asking a lot out of the shot. I mean, you miss it, you're dead in the water. Bobby will take all of 2 minutes to clean up that rack. Let's see what Manny comes up with here. Maybe is he trying to break these balls out? Is he coming into the 9? I don't see a whole ton of value in coming into the 9. It doesn't really free up a pocket for him. Yeah. I mean, oh, I see what he's doing. He's going to come off the 7, make the 13, play safe. Pretty creative. Yeah. Decent enough shot. 12 is going to be difficult for Bobby. Do believe the 15 passes the 2 all the way down, but don't know where the 12 goes. If you take that on, not a ton of places to hide either. Maybe you can make an effort to leave him on a rail and leave him long and wrong, but Bobby's looking like he can see an edge of the 12. Don't know the value in that either. 7's playable over there, just the way that 3 sits. So if you don't tuck Manny pretty good, or you don't try to get out from here, a run out's there. Yeah, he's just pushing up on the 2, trying to prolong the rack, but not super effective. 2's still open. Now Manny, after playing that safe, really rewarded an opportunity to win this rack, even though it didn't look like his from the start. The scratch is going to prove costly to Bobby if Manny gets out from here. Good old 8-ball. I like bar box 8-ball. Not a lot of people love it. I like it. You got to navigate tight spots. You got to come up with some pretty creative safes. You got to pattern play is important. And he's not out of line. He can. I think he would like to be on the rail. Shooting this 2 or the 3. I think he goes 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. Nice full look on the 2 or the 3 here, though. Can use the 15 to stop his cue ball, though. Shoot the 2. Use the 15 as a stopper for the cue ball. That allows you to get out 3, 7, 8. Yeah, just like that. It's a good shot. Manny doesn't have to do anything special here. You can't just stop this cue ball. I think it leaves you a little bit of angle on the 7. That's what Manny was looking at. If I stop the cue ball right here, how do I look on the 7? That's a good shot. And decent little angle on the 7 here. He's got a few options to get on the 8. Really don't want to clip the 12 coming back up. See, they're going to go forward with it or play a little left and come on the left side of the 12. Whatever. Yep, just forward. Taking the angle. Should be just fine. Can't really see it on camera. I like what he's doing here. You guys watch some of these higher level players, these mid 600s. A lot of them look at the line of the shot. They get down to the object ball in the pocket. They put that line in their head. And they step behind the cue ball and shoot towards that line. Decent out there. Manny going up 1-0. I did ask Bobby to keep track of score, so if he falls behind a little, let me know. I'll think there's something I can do back here. Just tuning in. Mentioned it when I first got on. If you were all in, it's $21.90 for first. First place pays $1,000. The $30 winner take all, $690. And then the side pots are as follows: first 500, second 350, third 250, fourth 150, fifth 650. Payouts if you're not in everything, once again, 1,000. Second place is 700. Third is 500. Fourth is 300. Fifth, sixth is 200. Seventh, eighth, $150. But I promise you, nobody left in this tournament's really worried about 7th, 8th. All good players left. Seems on day 2, kind of weeded through the lower rated players. High Fargo's kind of rose to the top, made it to day 2. Yeah, Bobby's really looking at this one. There's a lot of work here. A few clusters he's got to navigate. He's trying to decide if it's worth a run out. Maybe make a few balls, push something in an advantageous situation, and then go from there. It's really got to figure out that 9-11 situation. Yeah, Bobby taking the hanger, just trying to get a little bit more angle on this 14. He's got a plan. I think he's going to try and use the 12 ball to break out those balls down there. Maybe shoot the 12 into the 6. Yeah, that's what he's looking at. He's trying to shoot the 12 into the 6. That frees up the 9. Still leaves the 11 in a tight spot, though. Unless he can break it out on top of that. That's a lot to focus on. Focusing on the cue ball where the 12 has to hit the 6, the pace of the shot. Oh, that's a really good shot from Bobby. Just unrewarded with the 9, though. Kind of strike one there. See if he goes after it again here. I think he can hit this 11 thin enough and come into that stack. Yeah, just like that. That's that's really good. That's a Bobby special right there. He's got a chance to get out from here. Kind of on the wrong side of this 9, but curious if he can hit it full enough and really sauce it up to get to the left side of that pocket. Unless he comes around. Yeah, it looks like he's coming around. Good natural shape. It's just a touch concerned about the 7 coming around that way, but that'll work. I don't think Bobby can avoid missing the 8 here, so really got to plan on where the 8's going after this. That's what he's doing there. You want to hit it at the right pace and on the right side of the 8 to give yourself the best chance at a look. Yeah, that's a killer. May try to play it off the 7 and shoot it in the corner. Unless it passes the 8. Passes the 8. You can cut this thin enough to go on the side. He's calling it. That would be a really good shot. Kind of a blind pocket when you're cutting it this thin. Can't really see that side in your peripheral. No, that's just a killer. Really took a few swings to break out a few clusters and just ended up coming short on the run. And when you're playing a player like Manny, if you were playing for any cheaper, you might even just sweep this rack and say, let's go on to the next one. More often than not, he's going to clean these balls up. Risk reward of being aggressive. You look like a hero if you get out. If you don't, you're often left with this. Yeah, it looks like Manny's going to take care of that 2 first. That way he doesn't have to shoot any combos and maybe maybe the combo goes a little astray and locks up another ball on you by accident. I like what he did. That's a good shot. You can draw out of this. Come back over where the racking dot is, really. Or just slide over with a stun. Same effect. Just miss the 3 coming out. Yeah. That should be a wrap on this rack. Manny Luvano going up 2-0. I don't know if you could call it luxury or benefit or whatever, but I had the luxury of playing Bobby Thomas before the tournament started on Friday, I believe it was. Played a few racks, and we played 2 races to 3. Probably picked up my stick twice, and I lost 3-0, 3-0. Faster than I could count. Chris Adams, what's going on, brother? What happened? You didn't sandbag your Fargo below 650 yet? I'm just kidding. That's how all these players that are left in the tournament, they all kind of do the same thing. You notice with a lot of lower rated players when they play 8-ball, they're pretty quick to shoot after the break. Bobby he really wants to address all his trouble balls early and plan his route early before he shoots his first ball. Big reason why these guys have seen success. This is another one of those racks too. You ever break the balls up and then you're between stripes and solids and you're like, they both look good. And eventually you just make up your mind on the easiest opening shot. You're like, well, if I can go with either or. I myself tend to overanalyze it from time to time and try to figure out which one is absolutely best. And at the end of the day, they both lay pretty good. I do believe the 9 has a gap between that 5-2 there. Bobby looking to see if he can shoot the 15 first. I think he's just going to try and slide over there. Bobby's trying to figure out which key ball is best to get on the 8. Shooting any of these balls is okay to get to the other. It's really just planning on how he's going to get back down table for the 8-ball. I like this. I like this angle. He's got a few options here. And Bobby's another one of those guys. He does tend to keep it pretty simple. Doesn't have to do too much with the cue ball here. No, just took his eye off that ball the whole way. Really just focused on where he wanted the cue ball instead of the 14. Took the shot for granted. Definitely, he'll tell you himself. He definitely supposed to make that, clean that one up. Seems like every time Manny comes to the table, he's got all his balls on the table and then the 8. Bobby just making a few late errors that's really costing him. He's had some bad fortune as well, though, too. Having to break out the same cluster 2 or 3 times and not getting a great roll on it. Don't know if that 2 passes a 14. They look like they're pretty married to each other, so if not, he's going to have to address that and break that up here pretty quick. Could try to get underneath it and shoot it up table. I just don't love that shot when you have a few balls that are close to the 2. You can use those to open this rack wide open. Yeah, you see him tapping the table. He really wanted that to slow down to maintain a proper angle to break out the 2, and I think he's got it. I think he can. He's got 2 options. I like punching into this instead of going forward and into it because you can get stuck behind the 14 that way. I like punching into it. Yeah, just a little tap to create some separation works there for Manny. Came off the good side of it too, ensuring he didn't run into that 14 full and create a little chaos. He doesn't love that. He may have to use the 2 to get on the 8. He really wanted to shoot the 2 now. This will work though. Just don't want to get weird on the 7. He's slightly on the wrong side of this ball, but you can go forward. Yeah, you can go forward with the top left and get to where his cue was. Maybe just a little bit of high. I like a little left, takes that other side pocket out of the equation. Just like that, good shot. Just another rack that Bobby Thomas gave up there. He's gonna need to clean up those late errors if he wants a shot at getting back in this tournament, or in this match, really. Both these guys have another barrel to work with, though. Get knocked to the backside. Still a winner side match. This is tough. I mean, if any of you guys watching were playing in the tournament, it is tough because uh, it's an alternate break format. It really doesn't, all these guys above 600, they're very capable of putting together 2 or 3 racks in a row, breaking and running, or at least taking control of a rack, and then you kick it something. But in this alternate break format, I mean, Manny's guaranteed to break multiple times. It's hard. It's going to be hard to keep him off a 7. Gonna need a little bit of luck. You're gonna have to rely on Manny making some mistakes, and you playing really, really good. Yeah, it looks like both these players settled on the second ball break. Nothing down there though. These are the breaks that Bobby's gonna need. Big second ball break guy. Just with where that 9 sits, I think I like solids more here. Doesn't love. It's likely gonna have to shoot this 7. He doesn't love being jacked up over this 6, but I think it's the best ball to start with. Close enough to a hole, it shouldn't give him too much trouble. I like to address a 6 sooner than later because it's kind of in a tricky little spot. I guess if your cue ball's over there by the right side pocket, you can shoot it. Just a little bit of traffic. And Bobby's going to take a look at where he needs to be on this 5 to roll forward for the 1. You don't have to be. You have options here. I mean, could use the 2 to get there. I think he's going to get nice and full on the 5 like that. Really simplify this rack and simplify this out. Let's see if that 6 ball gives him any trouble later in this rack. He left it there. He's going to have to navigate some stripes with the cue ball. Come back to this side of the table. Get a decent angle to where you're really not running into too much traffic to get back to the 8. There's not too many bad angles on this 1. Even if you're straight, you can kind of draw it out of there. I think Bobby's going to run into the 9 here. Yeah, you see him jacking up a little bit, trying to hit that 9 square here. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, over there by that right side pocket, I think is the best spot to be for the 6 to get to the 8. It's not bad there. That's a good angle. Really just go forward with this ball. Maybe use that second rail if you want. Shoot the 8 in the side next. Nah, good speed control and good shot. Those shots are always a little nerve-wracking, especially when you don't have a win and you're on stream and you're playing Manny, who's up 3-0. But the first and last ones, everyone knows those are the hardest to overcome. This is where you can get a little momentum, though. You steal a rack on Manny's break, and now you're breaking here. He'll adjust the score in a minute when he gets back over to his table, but the score is 3-1. Another Sunday at Bullshooters. Really filled the place up again. I sound like a broken record saying that, but it's always busy in here. Leagues or not. It's like the general public knows when leagues aren't here because it really fills up. I think there is something going on over there, though. Bobby's getting a real good pace on that ball breaking from the side rail. Because you're on the side rail, you know, you got to jack up a little bit more than if you kind of put the cue ball in the middle of the table and break them up from the center. So sometimes, not often with 600s, but sometimes pop the cue ball off the table a little bit at that pace. He does a good job of keeping a level cue and not overpowering or popping it. Well, I guess since Tim attached my name to the tournament, I do want to thank everyone who showed up and played in it. Just a monster field. 32. Every player had a chance to win this. There was no one I played where I really felt like could could get run over. And even some of the lower rated Fargos we had, you know, a couple 530, a 540, 550 in there somewhere. Even those guys held their own. They won a few matches, taking down some heavy hitters. Real good control. Bobby really made that look easy. He wanted to take the 11 next, clear that up, and free up the 12. Those pocket hangers, I mean, they're just so touchy. You hit it a little bit too full or a little bit too thin, and your cue ball just goes astray. Go halfway down the table. Judge that really well from that distance. A little tricky here. I think Bobby's almost got to play some right, which is added difficulty being jacked up over this 12. Yeah, he's just taking the angle on it. He doesn't mind distance on this 8 either. He doesn't have to play inside on this one. Even if you're over there by the 2 ball, that's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, he checked it with inside. Kind of a gutsy shot. Yeah, that's what I mean. Break and run right when you steal a rack from Manny. The difference between 3-0 is cut down to 3-2 in just a couple minutes. Now, see, these longer races, they're all about momentum. We'll see if Manny can answer back with either a break and run or some form of win here, no matter what that looks like. People ask me, and they say, why do you put so much emphasis on the break when there's really only 2 or 3 break and runs in a set? Well, to me, that's a pretty big swing. And then also, it allows you to take control of the table. If you get a little funny on the ball, you can lock them up, keep them kicking. But both players here look like from the start they're looking to get out of every rack. Yeah, man, he was a little frustrated with that break. You could tell his objective. Watch out, cue ball. You could tell his objective is really to really come back into the stack, hit that second ball full, and get that cue ball to come back into the stack. That helps. That helps avoid the scratch, and it helps kind of break up the rack a little bit better as well. I can just tell on his body language there when the cue ball went underneath. Those are the times he really scratch. But if you can hit that second ball full enough, people ask me how I do it occasionally, and I just tell them hit that second ball as full as you can without hitting the head ball. That's where I've had the most success. Of course, I'm on the wrong side of the glass today, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Hmm. Doesn't look like Manny has a really good opening shot on stripes, and he wants to be stripes here. So now he's got to figure out this 1-3 and the 4. You can figure out the 4 right here. You can break it up with a 6. Maybe a little bottom or maybe some right. Shoot it down the rail and come into the 4. Got some insurance with that 5 being close to the hole. On top of that, still got to deal with the 1-3. Not an ideal setup for a run out here. Looks good, man. We got action. Yeah, looks like he's trying to come 2 times into it. Look at this shot. Really well judged from Manny coming off that second rail. Touch of inside, coming back and forth. 4 still tight position over there, but definitely lays better than it did a minute ago. One Yeah, Trace Kane, he always cracks me up. Ooh, sounds like a hill match between Trace Kane and Ron. That is a B-side match. Winner moving on, loser going home. To my knowledge, both players been around the game a bit for a while. A lot of knowledge between those two, especially Trace. I know Trace on a little bit more of a personal level. He plays all the time. And he's still a student of the game as well. I mean, I was watching him a couple months back. He brought in a book, and I'm like, what is that? He's showing me book was full of kicking systems and rail systems, and depending on the cloth and angle and humidity and pace and whatever tip you're playing, all factors. But he's really trying to tune it in to make it his own. That's pretty good. If he can shoot this four past the one, he's got a chance to get out of this rack, which is really good the way the ball's laid a minute ago. Yeah, man, he's frustrated here. He's frustrated because really, that 12's impeding the cue ball from playing low on it. So he might just have to roll this a little and take the angle. Unless he can go forward and miss it. Yeah, that's what he's looking at. He's got to hit this as soft as he possibly can to maintain a look on the three. Absolutely hates that this 12 is in his way. Forced to play high. He's trying to get around it. Yeah, he's just going to roll this one in. Don't let it get away from you. But also make sure the one gets to the hole as well. And might have went. I might have got there. We'll see. Doesn't seem too frustrated. I think he's got a look. Yeah, he's down early. He's got a look on this three. Should be able to get out of this rack. We're watching a we're watching a run out fest if Manny can get out from here. Outside of the few late mistakes that Bobby made, I mean, these players are averaging 6 or 7 balls or 8 balls at a time in a row. Definitely came to clear out racks. See some of the more deliberate players play some safes. A little awkward. Well, looks like the 8 goes on the side. He's calling it there. I think for a few different reasons. I think you generally go in the corner, but I think it blocks Bobby from, if you rattle it over there, it makes Bobby's job a whole lot harder. And Manny's able to answer right back with 2 wins in a row for Bobby. Clearing a rack and then breaking and running. And Manny's break, broken ran right back. 2-4. Manny needs 3. Bobby needs a prayer. Two games doesn't seem like a lot, but man, I was in that hole yesterday. When you get down 2-4, it just feels like a huge mountain to climb. These guys don't give up many racks. Almost feels like you gotta steal them, like you gotta kick a ball in or jump a ball in or rely on the maybe 2 mistakes they make an entire set. It's kind of funny, man. He's not the biggest 8 ball guy. He's not the biggest. He's not the biggest bar box guy. He's not the biggest 8 ball guy. Not that he doesn't play well on them, but I briefly talked to him a little bit before the match. or before the tournament, really, and he kind of communicated his frustrations with why are we playing on the small tables and why are there so many balls? Big rotation guy, big one pocket guy, does everything well. One thing I think a lot of people can learn from Manny is he never takes a shot until he's 100% certain it's the right shot. And then when he's down, he's 100% committed on it. Love that about him. Tried to implement a little of that in my game, sometimes to get ahead of myself. And I remind myself these killers have a routine for a reason. I've just got, well, this rack doesn't lay terrible. Bobby can get out from here. It's one of those ones, though, you get out of line on one ball, it's going to be really hard to clean this rack up. If you can stay in line, this is very runnable. Minimize mistakes here. Just not a whole lot of room for error on any shot. Sounds crazy. He might. Yeah, I was about to say he might take this 4 first to get on the 6. Unless he can see the 6 now, but I think if he can stop, I think inevitably he's going to settle on this 4. If he can stop his cue ball right there, well, I think he's got a little angle on it that makes it a little tricky. Yeah, he's decided on something. I think he's looking for a better angle on this 4 to get to the 6. Yeah, that's what he used it for. But kind of left with the same angle here. May have to either punch off the side rail or sneak forward, rolling it forward. Yeah, that's what he was doing. There's always a little danger getting too close to the 6, but that's going to be just fine. 8 hanging in the side. Good shot there from Bobby, and this continues to be an absolute break and run fest or run out fest. That'll do. 3-4. That's why he saw Manny practicing the break before this match. He knew it was going to be important. Thanks for all 57 viewers tuning in. Oh, there it is. What's up? There you go. Oh, second ball break. Oh, nothing down. Manny is frustrated the way that this has gone. I mean, you just almost assume that Bobby's going to run out after his last 2 breaks. Even though this isn't easy. I think the stripes just lay a little bit better, but the 1 ball X is a good ball to break out to 3. but I guess not if you shoot it first. I don't see another solid he can reliably shoot first. So now you go back to stripes. You say, what am I going to do about that 10-14? 14's a little off the rail, and the problem with that is that makes the combo tough. Very missable combo. Who's in the hot seat? The winner of this. The winner of this will play the hot seat match, and I think Duncan and Mr. Bustamante are playing each other. The winner of that will play the winner of this, and that will be the hot seat match. Not quite there yet. It says in the top right there, winner guaranteed third. It means if you make it to the hot seat match and lose your next two, you still finish third place. So quite a bit of difference in money. But I expect to see, no matter who wins this match, I expect to see the loser of this match make a run on the backside. Both real good 8-ball players, even though Manny doesn't love the game. Yeah, he's calling the combo. Like I said, that 14's a little off the rail. That makes this combo a little bit more difficult. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. He rolled that 10 right down the rail. Oh, he got a roll there. Turn the fans off. That thing wants to fall. Fortunately enough for Manny, he's got a pretty good look at the 1, but the 3's still trouble. Not the easiest run for Manny. You can see him take his time on this one, plan out his rack. I like this part of the game. You know, sometimes some people can see this part of the game as a little bit slower. The planning the patterns and planning the route. But I like this. It's kind of like baseball. You know, a lot of people give me a hard time when it's a 0-0 game and I'm sweating the same as if it's a 9-8 game. You know, good old pitcher's duel. There's a lot of strategy behind it. Like I mentioned before, Manny's not going to shoot a shot until he's absolutely certain what he wants to do with it. And what that allows is 100% commitment when you're down on the ball. Still got to figure out what he wants to do with the 4. I mean, the 3.
All right, we're down to the final 8. Everyone's in the money.
Down to the final 8.
Spy the bracket if you want.
All right. I will. Once he shoots a ball or two here, could almost use the 4. I believe the 4 passes a 9. You could almost use the 4 and try and break out this 3, or you could try to get underneath it, shoot the 3 all the way up. A lot of risk reward in that shot. So if you don't make the 3 going up, you really sell out to Bobby. You'll clean that up. So you break it out or you get underneath it. Not terrible. I think he's going to take this 3 on right now. It's a little bit more angle than he wanted, but didn't want to get stuck behind the 10, so can't fault him for being a little wide on that one. It's good. Oh, but he is absolutely punished. The cue ball just clipped the 8, brought that side pocket into play. And because Bobby really wants this and knows how important this is, he's going to take his time. But if you've ever played Bobby when he's on a roll, he'd take all of about 30 seconds to run these balls out. But he's going to make sure he doesn't get out of line here. No wonder he's no wonder he's playing so well. He's drinking Ultra. That's not a beer. Gotta give him a hard time. He always buys me Jim Beam, and I hate it. Ugh, gagging a little bit thinking about it. Probably comes up with some sick bets. Yeah, he doesn't want to have to get above this 10 again, so he's just gonna shoot this combo right now. That ball got a little weird on him. He's fine. He knew he had the 9 as insurance. I think he really wanted to either make them both or at least leave the 10 hanging over there. Maybe use it as his key ball to get to the 8. Really putting a lot of emphasis on making sure he's on the right side of balls. It kind of makes the game look easy, but it's all planned. I think he's a little straighter than he would have preferred. Oh no, he can come off the rail, I think. Cut it a little left. Keep off the rail and out. It's a little further than you'd want, though. Because if this table rolls off or you don't hit this 10 great, that cue ball can get away from you. Oh, that is just brutal. That really is. I mean, even if he got a look without the 6 ball there, he would still been okay with that. You know, I'd be a little frustrated based on where the 8 went, but he's going to kick at it with some right. Got to get the nerves right here. You know, you're frustrated. You'd like to just one stroke this and kick at it because you likely just gave up the rack. But, you know, put your best stroke on this one. Really line it up. Give yourself the best chance you can at making this 8. That's what he's doing. He's playing hard. That was definitely a good effort, though. It's no walk in the park for Manny based on where that 2-5 sits. Manny doesn't love it. If he doesn't love it, he can play safe on the 2 and put the cue ball behind the 5. But based on what we've seen so far, I anticipate he runs these out, or at least makes an effort to do so. You want to shoot the 2 sooner than later, so that's what he was really lining up for. Kind of punched it over a little more than he wanted. He'd like to be a little closer to the center of the table. That makes that 2 much easier, but now Manny might just be looking at that safe we were talking about. Get it off the rail a little bit, put the cue ball behind the 5. I don't like the two-way bank here because at the pace you have to play that at, you can maybe lose your cue ball on the save. And that's going to leave Bobby an easy shot on the 8. I almost like, if he's not cutting it, I almost like just rolling up behind that 5. Yes, you leave Bobby a chance to kick it in, but I mean, there's nothing worse than taking this ball on and getting beat because of over aggression. That being said, I'd still probably cut it. Yeah, he's afraid of leaving that kick. He knows Bobby can kick pretty well, especially right after you just watch Bobby almost kicking the 8 on the last shot. Makes you a little weary of ducking here. Smart play from Bobby too. You know, when he kicked at that 8, something that doesn't go talked about enough. When you kick at the 8, I like to play it at the pace that he did because he ensured the 8 ball would be close to a hole if he missed it. You know, he knew it would be close to that corner, and that gives you a higher higher percentage chance of kicking it in if Manny does play safe. But he just went with a cut back and forth, and that was a really good shot. Those cuts are always a little bit more difficult because when that 5 ball's in the way, I don't know why, but when that 5 ball is right next to that 2, it's kind of like right in your vision. You really don't. It's almost hard to focus on the edge of the ball that you're trying to hit when there's something in close proximity to it. At least for myself. It doesn't give me too much trouble, but it was definitely something I had to overcome pretty early on. These are the shots I think Manny really has an advantage over the field on. He's just used to that 9 foot pit table. Those long, small cut shots. You got to punch in with a little bit of pace. He's used to shooting that at twice the distance and half the pocket. So I made it look easy. It's not, especially with all the pressure. Yep, good shot there. Knowing that the 8's close enough to a hole, you can leave distance and reliably pocket it. Even if it is a 6.5 foot shot. Oh, I almost missed that one. Saw him lean a little bit. I took one away from Bobby there. Yeah, Bobby's done a pretty good job of hanging in there despite the mistakes. Really haven't seen too many mistakes from Manny, and the score still says 5-3. A lot of times when you see someone playing as well as Manny and getting out from everywhere, the score gets a little bit more lopsided, or at least it looks a little bit more lopsided. But Bobby's very much in this, and it's his break. He can bring it back within one. Looks like Manny's taking a quick break real quick, so Bobby's going to wait for him to get back. This was a fun format. I really enjoyed this tournament. I can't thank Tim enough for putting this one on. Been a while since I've been back here by myself on a Sunday. Did it a little bit with Peter, I think last week or the week before, and I think it was 2 weeks ago. Mike Gwynn, how you doing, brother? I'm on the wrong side of the camera again. Go figure. Felt pretty good coming into it. I think that's where I went wrong. You guys have the same thing? You guys in the chat while we're waiting for Manny to get back. Do you guys have the same thing? When you come into a tournament with like no expectations, it seems like that's when you do your best. And then when you come into it expecting to win, you go 2 and out every time. I went 4-0, so that was somewhat reputable, especially with these monsters. Big player to watch out for is haven't mentioned it too much yet. Big player to watch out for is Angel Hernandez. Now people like to joke about him being my nemesis because of all the times he's beat me, but in reality, I mean he's a lot of people's nemesis. He's had a lot of success on Tim's tour stops. He constantly beats the brakes off of most people he plays. Not too many people giving Angel a really good game right now, myself included. Just really running over everyone. However, he did get kind of smashed yesterday. I think he took a loss 7-1 pretty early on. Obviously fought his way back. Convincing victory over Carlos Avalos 7-0. I was watching that one a little bit on my phone on the drive up. I went over to Carlos afterwards and I'm like, tough to beat a guy that doesn't miss, huh? And he's like, no, no, no. You're very wrong when you say that. I'm like, why? And he's like, he missed once. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was good catching up with you, Glenn. Mike Glenn. Shout out Mike Glenn, one of our biggest sponsors, if not our biggest sponsor, right next to Qualtech and John Sanchez. Thank them for everything they do for the community. I know John Sanchez's son, Philip, just came out with that short little documentary, the Gunslingers documentary. I think Donkey Pool Productions on YouTube came out with it. Apparently, it's heard it was pretty good. Some pretty good interviews with Mitch Ellerman and Bobby Emmons. Really captured some high caliber shots on the pit table. I haven't had a chance to look at it, almost specifically because it's the same thing if you guys have ever done it. You ever talk and then listen to yourself in the recording? You're like, there's no way that's what I sound like. So I know when I go into it, I'm going to cringe a little bit, but that's all right. I make myself cringe all the time. I'll survive. Man, Bobby just trying to slow roll, full look on the 13 and go forward for the 15, but I think he's got slightly the wrong angle here. He's a little frustrated with that. I think his cue ball wants to almost track towards the 15. Really good pattern here from Bobby, though. I mean, if he was a touch straighter on this, 15 acts as the best key ball on the table to get on the 8 from the start of the rack, and he was able to leave it there and get himself a pretty good chance to get to it. But now he's got a little bit of a problem here. Just touch of too much angle here that brings that 15 into play. It's brutal to say, but you may even have to lay up for a bank shot. I know that sounds dumb. But I think old Bobby's got to do something a little creative here. Yeah, he hates it. He must have that really bad angle. Game of millimeters, too. I mean, this rack was over 30 seconds ago if he got where he wanted to on his 13. Like I mentioned earlier, all that route planning, and they're kind of walking around the table and looking at angles and making sure they're on the good side of the ball. That makes the game look easy. It's not easy. It's all predetermined coming into it. 61 viewers on an early Sunday afternoon. That's not bad. That's what Bobby was afraid of. He knew he's coming into the 15. Just a brutal angle on that one. He may have to kick at this 15. Yeah, that's what he's going to be doing. It's unfortunate, but he's got a chance. He's looking at the cut. I don't think the cut's there. You got to kick at it. Yep. Just. Oh, how about that for a shot for Bobby? Critical shot there. No, Manny was going to run out if he didn't get out with that kick shot. And that brings it within one. Even though, I mean, Bobby's fading the mistakes he's made in this match with really his high powered offense. Stealing racks for Manny. Much different Bobby than we saw at the beginning of this match. We saw him running out, getting well. I guess it's not much different. You know, he did run out and run into trouble in the last ball or two, but he was able to get out of that one. 5-4. I mean, he's constantly applying pressure on Manny. At this point, if you're Manny, you got to kind of think, I can't miss a ball. I can't miss a ball on the break. Otherwise, it's a two-game swing because Bobby is just putting on an absolute clinic of breaking runs. Very solid break there. Nothing on a rail. Got a few balls hanging in the pocket. Everything's separated. Can really go with either ball here. Stripes are better, just with just just by where that 2-4 sit. On top of just being an easier opening shot, but yeah, he's gonna start off with this 9 ball here, and looks like he's trying to shoot the gap to get good on the 14. Only problem with this is if you get a little weird on this 14, you really don't have much of an insurance ball because he might. Yeah, this is kind of what I mean. He's blocked from the 13. He's blocked from the 12. Don't know if he's got a full look on the 11 or not. If he does, he might even choose to cut that in. But yeah, not much insurance there. And that's what I mean when I said earlier, when you got a ball hanging in a hole, if you catch it a little bit too thin or a little bit too full, that cue ball can really get away from you. It's one of the most under practiced shots in all the pool because people take it for granted because it looks like such an easy shot. It's close to a hole. That's where that cue ball goes afterwards. Looks like he's got to look at this 11. That's not bad. That frees a lot up here. Well, these shots right here are what champions and heroes are made of. I mean, it's do or die. You got to make it. He's calling the 10. Little danger here too. If you don't draw this ball, a little danger here. You push that 2 ball. Maybe make it a little weird on the 8 or on your other stripe. Don't want the 2. Yeah, he was jumpy throughout that whole stroke. Didn't stay down, didn't fall through. Almost like he anticipated missing it the whole way. Never felt super comfortable over that. Didn't look like. Another big shout out. Bull shooters letting us host this tournament. Say it every time, and I will continue to say it. One of, if not my favorite pool hall, especially on the west side. Well, that 8 made that 7 just weird enough. Now Bobby's got to find a way to get to it. think he's trying. He might have the angle here. Go forward with it, maybe a little bit of left, get over, you know, get over to that side pocket, that right side pocket, and shoot the 7 from there. That's what he's looking at. I think he can get there from here. It's just what you do after that. A 2-4 lay a little funny. Nice. He's looking at the combo just in case. Doesn't look like the combo lays that bad. You don't hear me say that very often. You hear me say the combo doesn't lay bad. It's got to be a really good combo. But looks like you hit that 4 full in the face with the 2 ball. It's pretty straightforward. I like those combos too because when it's straight like that, the 2's not going to move much. It's going to stay and kind of replace the 4, assuming you don't have to cut it. That might be the most reliable way to go about that. I think Bobby settled on that. I think he settled on the combo after this. Little right English, come 2 rails to the center of the table for the 2-4. Just like that. Real good speed control too. I like to be a little bit closer to the center of the table. This cue ball wants to go a little bit to the left. Like I said, the 2 replaces the 4. That's what he's planning here. It's not so much the combo, it's where he wants to put the cue ball to shoot the 2 next. Yeah, I think he's going to have to shoot this one on the side. Well, it might have a hole in the corner. He's peeking at it. Could almost play it off that 12. Catch the rail right before the 12. Pull your cue ball a little forward. Shoot the 8 next. Gotta hit this one well though. Oh, he hit it great. Perfect. Oh, Bobby. Ball pocketing percentages for both these players has to be extremely high. Rare mistake from Manny. Gonna cost him there. Oh, this has been a fun one to watch. 5-5, race to 2. Makes you wonder why we played those first 10 games when it just comes down to this. Give a little shout out to Peter Sullivan. Let him know that we're thinking about him out here in Arizona. He made a last minute trip out to California. He someone sick in the family, and he's got to be there for him. So we're thinking about him. Hope everything's okay. Ray, is this the final? This is not the final. This is the match before the hot seat match. Winner of this plays Duncan. I keep forgetting his first name. Is it Jason Bustamante? Yep, Jason Bustamante and Duncan are playing. That score is 4-4. And obviously this one's 5-5. Oh, no, Duncan just went up 5-4. So 2 tight matches to get to the hot seat here. And then on the backside, you have Angel Hernandez playing Anthony Schultz. Angel up 3-1. And Michael V. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. Sorry, Mike. Playing Ron. Ron's up 1-0 there. So we're down to the final 8. I know you guys have heard it a few times. Viewership's going up a little bit. I'll give you the rundown again. If you're in everything, first place 2190. If you're not in everything, first is 1,000, second is 700, third is 500, fourth is 300, fifth, sixth is 200, and seventh, eighth is 150. $690 in the winner take all side pot, and the $50 side pot. Tim's paying out six, 500 first, 350 second, 250 third, 150 fourth, and fifth, sixth get an additional $50 if you're in the side. Anyways, back to the game. Yeah, looks like Manny's still trying to plan his route out. This match just got real for him. He was kind of coasting, with that two-shot lead and alternate break format. You always feel like you have a pretty convincing lead on the other guy. But after what Bobby's done to him these last few racks, it's got to be a little bit of a shocker. Bit humbling. Now you saw Bobby come in, make a few mistakes early. You're like, okay, well, I'm obviously going to get a few innings at the table. Well, I don't think Bobby's passed off an inning since he was at 2 wins. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking about it right now. I don't think Bobby's missed a ball in better part of the last about 5 racks. Of course, I don't think he shot in all of them. Yeah, yeah, that's a tough out right here. This all things considered. Can't imagine that Manny's not just a little rattled. Manny's a very experienced player. He's played some high dollar matches. He's played a lot of tough players in his life, especially over there on the pit. Nothing new to him. Bobby just being a hustler and a gambler, and I could think of a few other adjectives I can't say on stream. Oh, I love Bobby. He cracks me up, man. He almost every time I see him, I wake up to a text with like 4 different bets we have, and it's not always money. It's I can't say a few on stream, but and I have failed to hold up my end on one of the bets that I definitely can't say on stream. I'm trying to talk myself into it. I apologize to him every time I see him. But yeah, no, I mean there'll be a women's softball game going on the TV, and we'll bet on it for a shot. And then there'll be a horse race, and we'll bet $10 on that. And there'll be some college game going on, and we'll bet $20 on that. And I mean, nothing short of what the next guy's gonna order at the bar, you know. Oh man, he's trying to kick at this 10. Put the cue ball in the stack. Shows you his one pocket knowledge there. I knew if he came off, he's gonna call it. I think he called the 10 just in case. I'll take it. I think he called the 10 just in case, but no one glancing off that 10 puts the cue ball up in that 11-4. What is that, a 14? Yeah. 11-4, 14-3. Gosh. Left Bobby tough. Real good answer back there for Manny. Now, we've been waiting for a rack like this for a minute. Now, the balls are just clustered enough to where they don't feel great about the run out. So I imagine we'll see a little back and forth here. And this is when you really get to see some knowledge from these players. Bobby is a bit of a gunslinger. He one of the better ones in Arizona at making balls. And I do think some people disagree. I do think his safety game is a little underappreciated. Something he does really well. I've told him this in the past. Something he does really well. He three fouls more people than I've ever met in 9 and 10 ball. He puts the cue ball next to the object ball and he thins it, and then he and then he hugs the cue ball on another ball down table, and you're like, what just happened? And I learned that finesse safety from him. Thank you. AKA fish poop. Yes. I don't know why they call him that. Yeah, Bobby did leave Manny the 11. I believe it passes the 7. It's just Manny's got to figure out that 14 as well. I think it was actually a pretty creative shot from Bobby because he knows that that 14 is no walk in the park, and he's leaving an angle away. If he shoots this 11, this cue ball's tracking away from the 14. He's gonna have to use another ball to get on it or break it out. I think it'll likely be a 10 ball in our future. Unless the 14 passes the 7. Well, no, it's got a hole up table if you clean up that 13 right now. So there's a few options. I'll just stop talking to see what he can come up with. Might try to run into it here. Like this a lot. Unless it passes, but I think he's gonna try and run into these balls. Nope. Try to roll forward with it. That 9 ball almost tried to hold up. He's looking at it like the 14 passes. But this isn't great for Manny because this cue ball wants to kind of glance off the left side of the 3, get a little close to his work on that 13. Almost wants to leave you a pretty steep angle on the 13. If you can't hit the 3 full enough, he may be able to hit the 3 full enough, slow that cue ball down quite a bit, but I don't see him avoiding the left side of this 3 without getting into a touch of trouble. Yeah, that's what I mean. A little glance can get you in trouble there. Yeah, he hates it. Justifiably so. It looks like Manny's gonna. Well, if you don't have a good shot on something, it's almost worth tying something up. But I mean, Bobby does a real good job of taking ball in hand, breaking out the cluster, and then still hiding you behind balls. So yeah, he's trying to shoot the gap there. He's trying to come off the rail with a lot of right, really manipulate that cue ball and create an angle that may not have been there. Kick that 10 in. He knew it was do or die. You could kind of see frustration there. Now Bobby able to take care of his trouble ball first, a ball in hand. Almost think, almost think it was almost worth at least guaranteeing that you hit one of your balls because Is now, I mean, that's six. It is extremely tight passing that eight. He would have to really work to create something on that six. Now it's going away, and he's got no trouble from here. Bobby with all the momentum. Manny visually frustrated. You can kind of see Manny's not the type to jump up on his shots. He does a really good job of staying down, and you can kind of tell those not 50-50 shots, but the ones that are difficult. Because I don't think there's any shot that's 50-50 for Manny. He's good at making everything, but those shots that have a chance of missing, he's a little jumpy, like we get. You watch this. This minimal cue ball movement from Bobby. He is trying to keep this as simple as possible, maintaining an angle that allows you to get anywhere on the table you want. Slight angle on a ball, you can get anywhere on the table. Keeping his options open. Little inside two rails out for the three, I believe. Oh, bumping into the two. He can take the five next now. More than one way to skin a cat in this rack, for sure. Got to take the five now, though. 5-2, 3-8. No, he's taking the three first. Little bottom left gets back out for the two. Thought he had the angle to go to the other side of the table towards the two. Thought he was going away from the three a little bit there, but this will work. Don't get cute with the cue ball here. Just keep it off the rail. There you go. And Bobby, against all odds, after you saw the first few games, it's going to be the first one to six. Race to seven. Except when you play with Justin, it always needs to be straight. Oh, I don't like straight. That's the hardest ball to make. Problem with straight in balls is you don't have an excuse. You can tell yourself to hit it straight. When you got an angle, you're just a little bit more focused on cutting the ball. I don't know. I'm just making that up. I'm trying to justify sucking so bad. I didn't have a bad tournament. I went 2-2. I won my first match 7-1. And then I played what I'd argue is the favorite to win this tournament, Angel Hernandez. He ended up beating me 7-4. Then I played I think I played Jeremy Gibbs, came out on top 7-5, and then I lost my last match 5-7 against Mike. Played really good. I knew I was in trouble when he broke and ran the first rack and made it look effortless. It's two straight is my excuse. You were up 4-2. Yeah, my dad went back and watched it. He's like, my dad was like, I've watched all the 650s play in this tournament. He's my Angel's playing a different game, man. He's really eating up the field. Oh, little open table safe right there. The guy doesn't miss. You are not wrong. I was looking back at it and I asked my dad. I'm like, did he miss a shot that entire match? And he's like, yeah, jump shot or something. I was like, God. So the fact that I made it as reputable as I did, I'm not super upset. You know, I'm an Angel's a nice guy. If you know him, he's a real nice guy. I actually pull for him when I'm not playing him, but I actually pull for him, and I'm glad he's seeing as much success as he does. Yeah, first little hiccup there. It's going to Bobby. Tried to play right back into that stack underneath the 3-8, maybe. Yeah, I don't know if he had enough to do that. May have just this may have been the intention, just kind of leave him jacked up, have to shoot something up table from 7 feet away. The balls lay better than the other. Three sitting on the 8 doesn't help stripes, and then the clusters that the solids are in makes it extremely hard to run. Nothing about this is easy. Manny can take all the time he wants on this rack because I just realistically running these balls doesn't seem maybe possible, but maybe not the smartest option here. May start playing chess, take control of the ball and start moving balls around and put them in a better spot. And that way, when Bobby does make a mistake or does try to break something out and miss or does get a little funny on a ball, that gives you the opportunity to clean up the rack after. Of course, that's always scary giving the cue back to Bobby the way he's been playing. He's been running out, seeing a little bit more of a defensive. I think he just offered up ball in hand there. He just hit the 8 first. That's ball in hand to Bobby, right? Yeah, he just pushed the 8 to the rail. That's got to be ball in hand for Bobby. A little bit of a mental error there from I don't think Manny knows that that's a foul. Just a little. Excuse, I hate the word, but little brain fart there from Manny. I granted doesn't make the rack a whole lot easier though. These balls lay tough, both on both sides, but not the type of mistake you want to make with Bobby on the hill. He is capable of running these out. You freed up that 8, and I think the balls are open. Bobby can choose to take whatever he wants here. I think Bobby's going to shoot this 12 in the side and run into the cluster maybe. If it passes the 4, I don't know, but then you might get stuck behind the 7. Could take solids, run into the stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, oh, 7 balls on both sides. Now he's still trying to figure out which ball is best here. Yeah, I think this is right. I think stripes are a little easier in this, and just based on when you hit the 7, it's going to push the 10 down to the bottom rail closest to the camera. And that's going to really free it up. You just don't want to tie up the cue ball here. That's not bad. You freed everything up, and by Manny pushing that 8 ball to the rail, that's going to leave Bobby a chance to run these out. Real good opening shot. No, it looks simple, but there was a lot that went into that. Kept the cue ball out of trouble. Everything's freed up. It's just a matter of executing from here. Tara. Wait, you can't shoot the 8 ball with an open table? Not that time. No, that one got me. Manny shot it. It was funny. Manny shot it, set it down like he had done something. He was like, okay. And Bobby knows the rules, and he went over to Jerry Stuckert sitting at the table. He's like, "That's a foul, right?" Bobby's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." And they were just all a little confused that somebody with the level of experience as Manny would make a mistake like that. Yep. Bobby definitely got eyes on trying to run these out. It's a little funny because this isn't really Bobby's style. I was kind of curious coming into this one. When Bobby's playing well, he's got a little bit more pace to him. He likes to strut around the table, do that Bobby walk, if you know what I mean. He's got a little pep in his step when he's playing his best. Yeah, he's looking at 11, 10. Shoot the 12 all the way up and use the 9 getting on the 8. Well, now he left an angle on the 10, so that tells me he's trying to get above this 12. Maybe run into the 4, but if you run into the 4 might tie up with a 9. Be kind of risky going into the 12. It's not super risky, but that's an option. He's looking at the other side of this 12. Passes the 2. If that's the case, he can get over there. Lots of left. Bobby's real good at those little drag left hand spinning shots. He can really get a lot out of the cue ball. He can really almost get max English out of the cue ball. And I don't know that that shot calls for that much, but it definitely helps when you have that in your back pocket. Looks like it does pass the 2. Looks like that's what he's going to do. And if you go a little bit too far or too short, no, he's coming in the 4. Don't want it to tie up with a 9. Yep. Didn't hit it hard enough to allow that. Most important shot of the rack right here. And it's not the 9 ball. It's the angle that you give yourself on the 9 ball. So the way you shoot this 12 is everything. Yep. That looks really good. 8 ball does pass the 3. He's looking to get on the right side of it. I wonder if he's got a natural rolling forward or if he's just got to pop it a little bit to get it over there. Yeah, he's able to go forward with it, and that's going to do it. Wow. What a performance from Bobby after going down early, winning that one 7-5. And I have a feeling that's not the last we're going to see of Manny Luovano. A little hiccup there, pushing the 8 on an open table, thinking it wasn't ball in hand. That gave Bobby ball in hand. Chance to break out his only true problem after the 8 had moved. And Bobby moving on to the hot seat. He will be playing. I'll give you guys some score updates here real quick. Oops, not that one. Don't know what that is. Okay. Duncan is up 6-5 on Jason Bustamante, so the winner of that is playing Bobby Thomas. Oh, really? Okay. All right. Angels up 5-3 on Anthony Schultz. Mike is down 1-3 to Ron. So, anyways, I imagine we'll be a minute and we'll get to it. See you guys soon.